Hey, welcome back, everybody. It is Justin with Wrestling Travel over here in the USA, and I am happy today to welcome Brittani Nikole on the line down in New Orleans, Louisiana. How are you doing today, Brittani?
I'm great. The weather's wonderful here. It's like 75 degrees, so I got nothing else to do, so it's wonderful.
So it's not only does she mention it's 75 degrees, but she has nothing better to do than to be on the line with me. So I appreciate it. That's like our cold opening. I'm like, we just spoke for 20 minutes having a good time, and then the opening is the part I have the worst part with. Oh, hey, welcome, blah blah blah. So now we can get right into it. Now that you've pointed out there is nothing better to do today than to be on with us at Wrestling Travel. So we're following up. You helped us out with Mania Crawl.
Yeah.
And what the little bit that we can do in these times is trying to help out everybody that was giving with their time and with the great cause. Over $3,300 raised for the Red Cross, which I've always gone, if you think about it, $3,300 doesn't seem like that much, but it is a heck of a lot of money when most people don't know where the next dollar is coming from or how to do so.
Yeah.
We wanted to get on and find a little bit more about you. So you are down Elev8 Pro.
Yes.
And you, from what I understand, you are the owner, a promoter, a ring announcer. I think you even do the windows in the building, right?
Yeah, that's the one thing I don't do. I don't do windows.
Don't do windows. Okay.
I wrap the ropes, but I don't do windows. But yes, I originally started in wrestling as an announcer, interviewer, commentator, and then grew into owning Elev8 Pro. So now I'm the promoter and owner of Elev8 Pro and the first and only female in the state of Louisiana to own a promotion. So that's fun and scary.
It's awesome. Like I didn't want to jump. I felt like I would be not being 2020 by going, hey, a female promoter and a female owner. But the truth is that's rare, no matter where you're at. So when did you first get into the business? And then tell me when you got Elev8 Pro going.
I got into the business like 5 years ago, and I had no clue what I was doing. I had always loved wrestling. I'd always watched wrestling. And I'm originally from up north. I'm originally from Ohio, right outside of Cleveland. And I said, when I turn 19, I'm going to move to Florida. I'm going to become a wrestler. And I moved to New Orleans instead and was like, close enough. And then I just kind of fell out of like being involved, like avidly watching wrestling and stuff. And then WrestleMania 30 came to town. And when it came to town, I was so like, oh my God, I still love wrestling. And even though I don't want to necessarily beat my body up, nor can I was like, I want to work on the media side of things. So I was like, you know what, I'm going to try to get myself, trained or start working in announcing or backstage or something like that. And so I got in with a company and I started ring announcing, and I basically taught myself everything because, as you know, like in wrestling schools, there's a lot of wrestling schools don't necessarily have a specific, like, we're going to train announcers and interviewers and commentators on how to work. So that was something that was really crazy for me to have to deal with, was teaching myself. And then luckily, as I like moved through the wrestling world, there was a lot of people that came in and gave me little tidbits, and I went to a lot of seminars. Even though I wasn't in the ring bumping and everything and learning moves, I sat and listened to the psychology and took lots of notes and did a lot of seminars, which was strange because people were like, wait, you're here to learn, but you're not in the, okay, awesome. I took a seminar with Dr. Tom, and everybody, he was like, who's a wrestler? Everybody raised their hand but me. And he like looked at me and he was like, what do you do? And I told him what I did. And he went, okay, cool. So you can take a bump off the top, turnbuckle, right? And I was like, I mean, if you're giving it, sure. I was like, I mean, only if you're doing it, I trust you. And so he taught me a lot. So that was really, really, really fun time. So yeah, and then fast forward to traveling, doing stuff with different companies here in the South. I ran into Elev8 Pro, and they're right outside of New Orleans in a little place called Chalmette, which is like a 5-minute drive over the bridge from New Orleans, so it's really close. And they needed an announcer and stuff, so I started doing that. Well, then the owner of the company, he got burned out. He was tired. He didn't want to do it anymore. He's like, I'm going to sell it, or I'm going to just dissolve it. He's like, I'm going to sell it. And I was like, I'll buy it. So that's what happened.
Wow, and that was 2016?
That was that was actually, I literally just got the company in October.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
I got the company in October. We ran a huge show in October, and then we ran our first show that was under just my belt in January, and we sold out the place. So it was really cool. And everybody got paid.
And then the world went on pause.
And then the world stopped. And
yeah.
So I'm still pushing momentum. Like, we're still doing stuff on our YouTube channel. I run all the social media stuff. I run the website. I run everything. So I'm trying to like make sure all of that is still pushed and people still are seeing the content, and still like we have some sponsors. So we try to push our sponsors because they're having a rough time right now, like Pastry Pantry and Poppy's Ice Cream. They're like, you know, I mean, they're like local little mom and pop food stores. So like, you know, people aren't really, so we're trying to push that you can get like delivery from them and get all that kind of stuff, and just trying to keep wrestling alive in this weird time where you can't physically see wrestling. So you have to rely on digital wrestling world.
Right. And that's great. And speaking of your YouTube channel, I got a chance to watch, there's my for the day. That's the only one I'm allowed.
I got you.
Elev8 Pro Uprising. Is that what the show is called? Is it, or Elev8 Uprising? The production of that for an indie show on YouTube is outstanding.
Thank you.
The camera work is great. The announcing, and I was just telling you before we started to record, the episode 1, the first gentleman comes to his, and now it's been so long, I cannot remember the name, but you do a little voiceover that gives you a little bit of the background of the guy coming in the ring. So if I jump in on YouTube, I'm from northern Wisconsin. I'm not going to know some of these guys on TV down in New Orleans, but you do that nice. It seems like such a little thing, but to me, as I was telling you, it's a huge thing. You give me a little background on the guy as he's walking to the ring, and then we get into business as usual. And it's a fun show to watch. And I believe you got 23 episodes up that are close to 30 minutes. So the viewers have some viewing to do.
Yeah, and that's the thing is right now I'm actually, because we can't film new content and we haven't, you know, been able to push new content out because we can't do wrestling shows right now. We have basically went back to the vaults of stuff that wasn't released, and I'm doing a segment that I'm calling Inside Elevate, where I'm kind of updating everyone who's not an Elev8 Pro fan and actually saw Elev8 Pro from the beginning on the history of championships. So right now we're doing a mini series. We're on episode 3, is going to get launched tomorrow, of the Elev8 Pro Women's Championship. So we're going through the history of like the very first champion and showing all of matches leading up to our current champion, so that people can see like the legacy of these championships and start to get to know the story. Because that's the thing too, is so many people in the wrestling world or out there in the digital world have no clue. Like they might know our current champion because it's on our website or on our page, but they don't know the history of who's held the belt and stuff like that. So that's my new little thing I'm doing, and it's called Inside Elevate, and it's going to be a little history lesson of all of the championships and stuff.
I did get a chance to watch episode 1. It was very cool. And what I like about that is I'll reach over here into my I'm Being a Mark shelf here. And
Yay!
Hey, and I can't quite get it here.
We're all marks in a way, or we wouldn't be in the business.
This DVD right here, I don't know if you've ever seen it, but if you get any of the WWE releases, you know, they kind of chop thing up. This DVD that I got, I don't know when it came out, 10 years ago, but it's one of my favorite. I watch over and over because it does the whole angle.
Yeah.
Like straight through, and that's what I like about, you know, obviously you got to cut things off, but you're doing the history of the women's title, and that's what I loved about it, because I can kind of follow along with and, you know, you didn't know these guys till they're on TV. I don't know your guys until I get to watch them. So
Right.
It's actually, I would say that to anybody. Now, you guys have a wrestling school as well down there. Do you, when you bought Elev8 Pro, you got everything lock, stock, and barrel? You've got your hands in the wrestling school. You got your hands, except for the windows.
Except for the
Am I
window.
right? Yeah.
Yes. So that was another reason that I decided to buy the company in itself, was because there was a wrestling school attached, and a lot of the people who train there are either, like, we have kids as well. We have like 14, 15-year-old kids training there. We have people from all different walks of life training there and working there. And I didn't want to see people's hopes and dreams just get like crushed, because he already took their money and he's just going to fold the school and fold everything. So it really, I didn't plan on it. I will be the first to say, like, in my dream of dreams in this wrestling business, being a promoter and owning a company and a school was not at the top of that list. It wasn't even on that list. I didn't think it was going to happen at all. And when I sucked it up and realized, like, I had to do this to make sure that people had a place to come and train and try to push for those dreams, like I'm pushing for my dreams, I was like, I have to do this. I have to keep this company rolling. So I'm not a trainer, obviously, because I don't work. I can do in-ring work. I don't do in-ring work. But we have an amazing trainer named Benjamin Wood. He's one of our head trainers. He trained at OVW and WWE Developmental, and he's been in the business for like 20 years. And then also another head trainer is Corey Constantine, who also trained at OVW and has been a huge wrestling mainstay here in the South. And so they're the two head trainers, and I basically help with promos and like getting them comfortable with interviews and like helping them develop their characters and all that kind of stuff. So I do the whole like promo and character development, and then the boys take over and work on all the in-ring work with them.
Which is fantastic. Which you sound like you have a solid team behind you. And just as you're talking about some of the stuff you do, trying to keep my sponsors in, I took over the school. People had money into it. It strikes me as odd that the average person in the world kind of has this about pro wrestling. Like, they've got their stigmas about pro wrestling, when we just proved 2 weeks ago with the Red Cross, and you're proving constantly, people that are standing up, and there's a lot of people, don't get me wrong, I'm not going to, but pro wrestling as a whole we are all sticking together. We are all trying to help each other out. And we're all trying to help our communities out. And my prediction is, because this is the way I feel, once this is all over and we're allowed to go back out into society, I feel like our indie shows are really going to pack the people in. Because it's not going to be a case of, I might go down and see it. Like, hey, let's get out. I like wrestling, and there's something local right down here. And I always tell people, because they want to go see WWE. I want to go watch Hulk Hogan. I want to go watch Ric Flair. Okay, great. I encourage that. Go watch them. But you're going to watch them from very far away, whereas you come to like an Elev8 Pro show, you're right there. Mm-hmm. They can hear you yelling at them or cheering for them. And at intermission and break, you get to go out and say hello to your favorite or least favorite wrestler, and maybe buy a shirt. And I would say, find out, this guy that you never heard of might have trained under X, Y, and Z, or might have done a whole lot. There's a lot of learning to do.
Right. And that's the thing, is like the Ric Flairs, the Hulk Hogans, the Dusty Rhodes, they started in the indie scene. So the people that you're watching now are going to be right up there when your kids are like, I want to go to WWE and see so-and-so. You can be like, I saw them at an indie show back in this day at this arena, and we hung out afterwards. And like, so it's one of those things of, the people of now are the future. It's as corny as it is to say, it's true. Like, the people that you're watching now in these small little arena shows, are going to be the ones that are going to be in the huge arenas that you then pay so much money for your kid to, like, get a foam finger of and all that kind of stuff. Like, it's crazy to see and we have a lot of history here in the South and in Louisiana when it comes to wrestling, like so much wrestling.
I was going to ask, because you got a lot of stuff that used to happen down at the Superdome, and a lot.
the Civic Center, which is in Chalmette, is where Mid-South ran back in the 70s and 80s every Friday. And that's where like Cowboy Bill Watts and Junkyard Dog and Dusty Rhodes and the Rock and Roll Express, the Midnight Express, they all came through there into the Civic Center that's in Chalmette. And luckily we've become friends and we've been able to have this thing worked out with the St. Bernard Parish government in Chalmette, to where the president of St. Bernard Parish, he used to come and watch those shows when he was a kid because he's born and raised there. He used to watch Mid-South back in the 70s and 80s. And he wants that kind of wrestling again in Chalmette. So he started to let us use the actual original Civic Center that they still have there, that Mid-South ran in. And so that's where we're going to start doing like at least 2 big shows, because it fits like 3,000 people. It's got like levels and everything. It's huge. And even though 3,000 doesn't sound like a lot, it's a lot for an independent show that's not in New Orleans, you know, Superdome show, you know, that kind of stuff. But so we get to use the original Civic Center where all of that history is and put on at least 2 shows a year. We're looking to run, hopefully, fingers crossed, we're going to do a show in July there, and then we do our anniversary show there every year in October. And the anniversary show is free. It's open to the public. It's completely free.
Wow.
So it's a come in, just watch and enjoy. The government, the St. Bernard Parish government covers the cost of it, and they make their money back on concession sales, and we don't make anything. It's just a bot show. It's just come and enjoy. So that's what we do for our anniversary shows.
And that's fantastic. And once this world gets back to normal, I think that you're going to expect a lot of turnout for stuff like that, especially in the way the economy might be. So I'm going to back up. So what you're ring announcing now, normally I would ask, like, do you have a dream opponent? But do you have somebody you would hope to announce? Is there somebody on the Brittani Nikole wish list?
Yeah.
There's probably a lot, but yeah.
I will say that, so in the independent world, there is, I would love to announce Havoc. Jessica Havoc is I would love to announce her. That's one of my ones I would definitely love to announce. In the, I guess, you know, main stage WrestleMania world, Paul Heyman, whether it's announcing, interviewing, just even being in the same ring as him, I would love to work with Paul Heyman. Like, he's just a vat of knowledge, and I would learn so much just being in the same room as him and watching him work, let alone being able to be a part of the process. Because that's what I love about getting yourself a good ring announcer, or getting yourself a good interviewer or commentator or referee even. It helps the process of the storytelling. You should always have somebody that's able to fulfill and help push the storylines, or help push the wrestlers and get people over and get that kind of pull and keep the crowd pumped. And I feel like sometimes that's something that's put on the back burner for independent wrestling shows. They just, like, you know, get Bob down the street to put on a suit or put on a striped shirt and count to 3, and it can really mess up a match. You could have a, you know, 5-star or whatever stars match that they call it, and it could be ruined because the finish gets botched because the ref doesn't count to 3, or like he stuttered, like, you know, those kind of things. So to have that kind of, I love learning from people when I'm in the ring with them, and that is, Paul Heyman would definitely be somebody I would love to learn from.
Yeah, a great vibe. Back in the day when it would be, hey kid, put this striped shirt on, I would say, listen, we're out there wrestling and this guy is new, but he doesn't look like an idiot. All 3 of us look like idiots now because of one.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we're doing a dance out there, and everybody needs to be on the same page. One of the things I want to talk to you about today, and it's not the happiest of things. It's actually very sad, but you being a ring announcer, yesterday, April 16th, we lost Howard Finkel, and I just wanted to get your thoughts on, I said on Twitter yesterday, one of the only guys that I can put a picture up and you can hear that picture.
Yes. I mean, his voice is iconic. There's a reason that he would come back and they would use him over and over again, because no one can do it like him. Like, no one can. and if you imitate it, you're just an imitation. He is a trailblazer when it comes to that voice that you connect with your childhood and that voice that you connect with wrestling itself. It's like how Bruce Buffer and Michael Buffer connected to, UFC boxing. Like, you hear it and you feel that. For him, it's just, Howard Finkel was just an amazing man, and it's really sad that we lost him. He was young. He wasn't like, it's like, that's not, what, 69?
69, yeah.
Yeah, that's not old. Like, my mother is 67. So, like, that's like, that's a little scary. It's one of those things of, it's sad. There's this, and to add a little bit of humor to it, there's this this music video called Dead Wrestler Beach. If you've ever seen it, it's a song. It's a song that was created by this weird cartoon, and it's cartoon animated, but it is this idea that all of these dead wrestlers and people in wrestling go to this beach when they pass away, and they all just work together and put on shows and stuff like that. And it's a really cute, like I said, look it up. It's called Dead Wrestler Beach, and the song is catchy. The song is very, very catchy.
Okay.
And it's really funny. So now that's all I can imagine, is that he's now there to announce the matches at this big giant wrestling ring in the ether somewhere in the world. I don't know where it is, but it's somewhere in the cosmos is this giant wrestling ring that everybody's working in now.
And that's a great thought, and I think we've all hoped that. I saw a picture somebody posted with Howard and Mean Gene, and I'm like, oh, we just lost Mean Gene not that long ago, a year ago in January, and it's one of those things. I think no matter the world, if it's the entertainment world, the movie world, or stuff, when we lose somebody who's iconic, you start to think, oh my goodness, everybody, we still got a lot of people left, but we have lost a lot more. So yeah, it's sad to say that we lost Howard yesterday.
Yeah.
But back to Elev8 Pro. How can I'm a fan watching this. How can I watch Elev8 Pro? What is the YouTube handle, Twitter? If you we'll get our good buddy Felix here to put them on the bottom.
Put it all.
Yeah, I'm just saying. Yeah, he'll put it all down there. I was top third. I got to get my head above the words here. So
yeah, bottom third. That's it. Bottom third. That's it. That's what it's called. Bottom third. So Elev8 Pro can be found. There's a website, elev8pro.com, and it will link you to all the social media. But I made everything very simple and streamlined. Everything, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, it's all just Elev8 Pro. So it's ELEV, the number 8, Elev8. Get it, catchy.
I like
Pro. Same for our YouTube, is youtube.com/Elev8 Pro. So it's super simple. I made it simple for that. I made it simple to find me. Like, my website's Look It's Brittany, and then all of my social media too, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, is all at Look It's Brittany. So I try to streamline everything. I at least learned that. Like I said, I run all the social media. So if somebody does message about wanting to know how to get into our wrestling classes, or to work with us, or has questions, or wants to get booked from us, all of the emails and everything come to me. So if you're more than likely talking to me. And I just to emphasize for some people, because a lot of wrestlers will message me and be like, hey, so like, are you actually the owner, or is this like a work? Yes, I am actually the owner. So you will be talking to actually me.
Fantastic. Is this a work? I love it when they use the terms. So
yeah.
This is going to go up. Now, Wrestling Travel, we're based in the United Kingdom.
Yeah.
Have you ever been over to the United Kingdom?
I have never, and I want to so bad. I have a passport. I'm ready. I'm willing
Sign
to
her
travel.
up.
I can go to the UK whenever. I will. You say jump, I say how high. I will run to the nearest airport. Not right now, but I will run to the nearest airport.
Eventually.
Eventually. Hypothetically, if we were not in a pandemic, I could get on a plane now.
Right now. All right, UK, you heard it. So when I go to Elev8 Pro with the number 8, and I go to the website. I want to. Can I buy merch?
You sure
Elev8
can.
Pro merch? Can I buy wrestler merch there too? Some of your roster? Or
Yeah,
I
you can
haven't
buy
looked.
Elev8 Pro. It's all connected through Pro Wrestling Tees, so we have everything connected to their shop, so you can get it in whatever size, color. I'm a huge tank top person, and when I first went into the whole wrestling world and seeing like t-shirts, there are so many wrestling shirts I wanted that I'm just like, but can it be a tank top? Like, can you make a tank top? Like, please, can you just make tank tops? And so
For
if
the
you
love
want to
of
appeal
God.
to, yeah, if you want to appeal just wrestlers in general, people who make merch, if you want to appeal to a female audience, we love tank tops. We love tank tops so much. And
I
crop
think you
tops.
just gave me a
We
million
love
crop tops.
we love tank tops and crop tops. I will wear a regular t-shirt if it is a crop top that I don't have to make into my own crop top, because then it gets weird because most of the time it cuts off some lettering or cuts off some of the design or whatever. So tank tops and crop tops, please.
On behalf of all males everywhere watching this, that and I'm not stereotyping a lot of us wrestling guys, but we might be
Right.
single. What a crop top? Are you talking like a half t-shirt, or what is a crop top?
Yeah, a crop top. So it'd be like it's like half a shirt. It's like
So
it
your
doesn't
belly
have the
button.
bottom half. Yeah.
Okay, all right. I just want to.
Literally a top that's cropped off. Crop top.
I knew it. I was just asking on behalf of other people that.
No, I understand.
So crop tops and tanks. That's my way to go. Is there a hey look it's Brittani shirt?
There isn't a shirt yet. There's a couple cute little anime drawings of me that are stickers and like little lapel pin, but I haven't made a shirt yet. Shirts are something I do 8x10s. I have like a little cute lapel pin of me with it's a little cartoon version of me, a little mic with a little glitter dress on. And I've got other cute little like stickers of me as like little chibi like anime characters with a giant microphone. But I haven't made them into shirts yet, so that's coming again.
I have an idea for you. So the Twitter handle is what? Look, it's Brittani. So we have a shirt, and it says "Look, it's," and then the Brittani. It's just the top half of the letters, and it's still a full shirt, so big guys like me can still wear it. And you got kind of like the hey, I'm a fat guy Brittani crop top, and I'm a fan. I mean, I think you can sell a lot of those.
You know what? Even if I didn't, I would make one just for you.
Oh, that's all I needed. That's fantastic. So I'm in. We're going to call it an interview.
Bye,
but
everybody.
I love actually speaking to you, and hopefully we can speak more in the future. But please support Brittani Nikole and Elev8 Pro.
All right. See you guys. Bye.
Take care.